A lot of people, including myself, will tell you that knowing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is enough to get you your first job. And while those three skills are enough to get you a job, those three skills alone will not get you a job. And what I mean by that is that you can't just go and learn a little bit of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript on YouTube or on a Udemy course or through Free Code Camp or the Odin Project or, all the other paid services out there like Codecademy and Lynda and Treehouse and all these places. Like, if you just learned a little bit of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, that's not going to get you anything. You're going to have to put in a lot of work in order to make yourself marketable and seem like a good candidate who actually knows and has built stuff with these three technologies. So completing a couple courses isn't going to do it. You're really unlikely to get a job with just those three things by, studying for a few weeks online. It's just not going to happen. I don't believe it will. If you know someone who says that they just learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and studied that briefly and got a job right away, I'm willing to call bullshit on that, and I would like to hear from you in the comments and let me know what you think, because I know from experience that those three skills alone, you can do a lot of cool stuff with those three things. You can build a lot of really great stuff. But if you don't actually put in the work to build those things, if you don't actually put in the time to build your own portfolio, if you don't actually find some way to get real world experience and contribute to projects and try to get yourself out there and show that you actually know how to apply those things rather than just say that you've learned them. I see people that will say that, I completed the whole Free Code Camp responsive web design section, and then I'll ask them if they actually did the project, and they're like, no, I just did the curriculum. I skipped the projects, and I kind of laugh because I'm like, then you don't know. You kind of studied something and you basically had an open book test to pass something, and that's not going to help you if you don't build these things, because building the stuff is where you're going to learn the most. And if you're just thinking that you're going to go through these different courses and these different curriculums online and not build anything and just do multiple choice questions, or just have the tutorial open book walk you through every single thing that you need to do and just type in the answer that you're reading basically right on the screen and typing it into an integrated text editor, and you're never actually building a project from scratch, and you're never actually, structuring a project and structuring your HTML and CSS files and calling your scripts or setting up the CDNs that you want to use in your HTML and building all this stuff on your own, then you don't know anything and you're not going to get hired with that. And if you get hired with that, then good for you. I'm not trying to down talk anyone who's actually able to accomplish that by doing that, but I feel that you're going to be swimming in deep waters at that first job if you're somehow able to land the job after a couple months of just learning some HTML and CSS and JavaScript and not actually building anything and not actually learning it by the trials and error of building your own projects or contributing to other people's projects and whatnot. So with that said, yes, you can get a job with just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Knowing those three technologies is absolutely enough to land you your first web developer job. But if you don't apply them and you don't build stuff, then I highly, highly doubt that you'll ever get hired by just saying that you know those three things. You have to be able to prove it, and you have to show that you've actually worked in those technologies and that you've actually built stuff with them. With all that said, I'm going to end this video. This was just going to be a quick short rant video because I hear so many people, myself included, tell people that HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is enough to get you a job. And while it is, I felt like I just needed to clear up the fact that you need to actually use them and prove to people that you know how to use them in order to get hired or even, be considered for an interview or a phone call. And that's pretty much it. You're also going to need a resume. You're going to need a portfolio. You're going to need a GitHub account. You're going to need a whole lot of stuff that will add to the, chances of you getting hired and whatnot. All right, with all that said, make sure to like this video. If you have any comments on what I said and think that I'm wrong and think that you can just learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and not actually apply it in any real way and get a job, please let me know in the comments. If you know anyone who has or claims that they have, I would love to chat with them and see what they actually learned in order to get that job. So let me know in the comments whatever you think. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate you. And if you want to see more videos on me talking about learning how to code or giving tips and tricks to self-taught programmers and whatnot, make sure to subscribe to my channel. All right, I'll see you next time.